your September 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this reading might resonate for you. It's Romy. Thank you for joining me, taking the time to tune into the channel. We're opening up this month with the energy of the moon. The thing is, Pisces, there isn't a right time. There's just time and what you do with it. And as you unlock something within yourself through the course of September, I think you'll realize all of the small, seemingly insignificant ways that you may have been holding yourself back from the life or the thing that you really are more than ready to now initiate. And when you decide, and I think you will through the course of September, that you are now in fact ready, people are going to start showing up in your pathway. And that's an exciting time because I think there are new and old connections that are here to start creating different conversations about how much it is possible for you to be able to achieve and envisage and step into the life that you want. The moon is helping you not only to kind of really get to the heart of some of the fears and the illusions that have stood in your way, but it's also a powerful revelationary energy where you get to see things for what they truly are. Now, as Venus goes direct on the 3rd of the month, there's clarity emerging around your prosperity and money consciousness, around love, like relationships, and also the way in which you have evolved with your own relationship to your sense of value. What you now do with that information is down to you, but there's a requirement from a spiritual perspective for you to have understood the lessons and the blessings that have shown up, and now act accordingly, make the adjustments necessary. And, you know, when we work with 7th house energy, which we will do through Virgo season, it's like a mirror. Yeah, it's a mirror to often the disowned parts of ourselves where we may have disassociated. And that can be a really curious place for profound self-inquiry. And I think that moon is also going to be incredibly supportive for that. It also tells me there's things that you're not yet meant to know. We have a deep hunger and desire to kind of be given all of the information all at once. And sometimes that really takes away from us being able to focus on what the next kind of right step is for us. And that's really how September wants you to approach it. It's like there's a practical intentionality, and the Hierophant comes in with that nice grounded earthy energy in support of this kind of cosmic conversation. And you have an incredibly beautiful shooting star here, so look out for that. It could be quite a powerful sign early on in the month for you in regards to something you've been thinking about. But there's a deliberate and I would say perhaps slightly conservative attitude that you might be taking in regards to some of the shifts and changes that you want to make. You are also in the process of evaluating whether something is worth repairing. You know, we can be very quick to discard things, but also you're sentimental, Pisces. So I think as you see and you look at things with fresh eyes and a new perspective, you are going to be considering, you know, what can be done to salvage or save or improve or revisit that. The Hierophant says it's the learning, not only the learning that you have already adopted and what you've been through, but it's, you know, it's the commitment and the devotion you make to also continuing to expand your awareness and your knowledge. That might translate for some of you this month into really wanting to do your homework and your research into something. You can't just accept at face value what they have said or what you've been told. There's an innate need to go further and to go deeper. And in that process, because we're in 7th house, you're definitely going to unearth like your own belief systems and some trigger points that perhaps have created these illusionary stories around you. So the combination of these two together is quite powerful. I think it's helping you to unlock something much deeper within yourself. Now, Venus goes direct on the 3rd, but the next day we see Jupiter taking its backspin. This retrograde, of course, invites all of that expansion to happen within us. And it's a powerful time for us to adopt this idea of acting as if. What do we mean? As you consider where you are, where you want to be, what it's going to take, and perhaps that's a source of inspiration or excitement or anticipation, or it might indeed, through the course of September, feel like a challenge and a wall, and a source of inner conflict or discord for you. But when we start to express and think and show up and believe and embody everything that we want to be in this life, and we really take the time, Ace of Cups, to pour that love and energy and attention towards the things that we desire, and Virgo season says we create this strategy around it, the plan to support it, then that acting as if through retrograde season can kind of bring about the benevolence of Jupiter, so that as soon as we go direct, we start to see the real physical manifestations of that happening. Now, September's a month where you are going to be busy, but you just need to make sure, Pisces, you're going to be busy with the right intentions and priorities, or you are going to waste time. So what we have to do and what we want to do is called into question, and I guess we need to find a balance of both. But what I do see happening for you this month is an understanding, if you like, that peace lives where you create time and space for yourself. That's what that Ace of Cups is telling me, and you need some sacred space just for you. And I suppose as part of that, the conversation that you're going to be having with yourself is just how complex it can be and how challenging it can be to have to present all of these different versions of yourself to all of the people in your life, and trying to kind of keep up with that. And sometimes that can feel exhausting and like it's stretching you. But again, here's an opportunity to kind of rethink that and consider what value you can receive from that experience, because there's sometimes you don't want to necessarily share that part of yourself, so the person that you can connect to, because you don't have to be that version of you. The Magician kind of almost courts and encourages the shape-shifting nature that is a part of your own innate natural essence. And sort of through that, there's more of a sense of you kind of feeling empowered by some of the connections and experiences that you have with all of the relationships in your life. Remember, there's just like this firm focus around that in 7th house. And that's going to also help you to kind of lay some things to rest, draw some lines, and stop sort of getting yourself all entangled in your thought forms around trying to overly please people or overthinking things or trying to kind of juggle like all these versions of yourself. It's like there's just a time to kind of call the energy back in a little bit and really be able to kind of stand strong in your sovereignty. I do want to remind you that compromise this month, and as we approach this sort of middle part of September, we'll see Pallas Athena shifting into Libra. So we have the diplomat here. We've also got Mars in Libra, remember. And this can bring about really innovative solutions and diplomacy and charm. And this is all wonderful for the negotiation of, things that we need to resolve or be able to move forward. However, compromise can be a vehicle for, new energy to enter, or it can also represent a real prison of resentment, which can also advocate for a very passive aggressive energy, because Mars in Libra will bring that out, because we don't want to be seen to kind of truly express how we feel, especially if there's a disgruntled, frustrating, anger. And so it still emanates from us, just in a different way. So if you're in a position where you're being asked, or you feel that you have to somehow find a compromise, and that's life, right? But there could be just something through the course of September that's a little bit more significant in terms of that theme. You have to really sit with yourself and kind of figure out what you can allow, what you can agree to. And, how you approach this is incredibly important because it's going to shape what happens next. Now, I do see you being able to figure this out. The Magician tells me so. You've got the support of the goddess energy coming in here, bringing in solutions that perhaps haven't previously been thought about or considered. So pay attention around that time of the month, the 13th. It's just ahead of the new moon. It's going to come in on the 14th, and then Mercury will shift direct on the 15th. Now, energy of death comes in and says, okay, there's a big overhaul happening for you through the month of September. And, the value of things in your life are getting a kind of shake up. There's a reshuffling. That requires new standards to be put in place because things have taken on a completely different meaning for you. Why? Because you've now had experiences that have helped you to understand them. And that new perspective is absolutely everything. So even though when we work with the influences of, the major arcana of death showing up, and it can be an uncomfortable, sometimes not necessarily, are we willing for kind of what is unfolding, being brought to an end or transformed or changed. Ultimately, there's a part of us that still completely understands the value in it. And in order for you to facilitate like your own rebirth, like your own moment of kind of coming into a new season and cycle, we sort of have to allow whatever it is to fall away, to come to an end, to bring a point of resolution. And the new moon in Virgo puts an emphasis around the practicalities and also your health and well-being. And so it gives you an opportunity to sort of put yourself first, and you are calling in the strength that you need to accept, to address, and ultimately to appreciate the lesson of this. So, these 4 powerful major arcanas, destiny-driven influences guiding you through this month of September, are making a difference in helping you in the transition in your life. And, we just have to look to nature to teach us just how we can facilitate those transitions. Now, this month we'll have equinox coming in, just as the sun shifts into Libra. And, this opportunity to reevaluate and release, to rebalance and harmonize into a different season and cycle. We do it on a daily basis with the sunrise and the sunset. So this allowance of the change to happen will bring you back into harmony and allow you to make a firm and clear commitment, not only to yourself, but also to the thing in your life that you feel so heart connected to. And, the changes that are advocated with the Magician, are incredibly powerful for you because they, for me, indicate like a rising sense of confidence and a new plan that's being initiated because of what you've come to understand and learn about yourself, most importantly, but also just realizing, that we have to kind of let people be where they are and we have to accept situations for what they are, but neither of these things determine what your experience will be moving forward. Yeah. So toward the end of the month, full moon in Aries, 29th, and that fire energy is impulsive. It's quick to rise in emotions. It's also incredibly creative, and it brings about like a initiatory kind of feeling of like, okay, like I'm ready, and therefore I have to create space for this thing that I want, that I desire, that's calling me, that's driving me, that's pulling me. So therefore, what do I need to let go of in order for that to happen? And that's the big conversation that plays out. Now, interestingly, after the new moon and after the full moon, we have these cosmic conversations happening with Uranus. Now, Uranus went retrograde end August. So on the 15th, we have the sun trining with Uranus. On the 30th, after the full moon, we have Mercury trining with Uranus. Here are some interesting surprises and some twists to the story. Now, remember, internally, retrograde energy of Uranus wants a soul revolution to happen, but it needs to be initiated by you within you, okay? You are the change that you seek. But these surprise kind of revelations that come in just after the lunar phases that are poignant and powerful this month are offering you not only a validation, but a way, like a strategy, a way to do this, a way that it can work, a way that it it's possible. And this has already been echoed by some of the conversations that you're having with people. It's a sliding doors, revolving doors experience through September with people in your life. Your networking is on fire. Take advantage of that from a work perspective, for any of you focused around that, because, you really will make some advancements and some incredibly important connections that will serve you, not necessarily right now, but down the line, they're going to be back time and time again to kind of help open doors for you. And this, I think, can be incredibly valuable as you start to kind of reshape things in your life. And that's what I really see you doing, because as I said at the beginning, there's no right time, there's just time and what you do with it. Everyone now is moving at their own pace and being pushed and challenged in their own ways. And you have the capacity to kind of evolve and transcend and move and take these cosmic leaps and quantum leaps more than you ever have before. You are not bound or limited by anything. And is what, as long as you keep harmonizing with the energy and aligning with that energy, in terms of, the natural seasons and cycles of what feels good to you, and trusting innately in how your body is talking to you, what it's asking of you, then this is a kind of sea change for you through the month of September. And, even where some of you may have experienced or still be in the midst of just the complexity that just feels like, I don't even know how to untangle this. You're wondering if people have had personality changes. It just feels like it's just becoming more and more intense, more and more difficult. What I'm also seeing through the course of this reading for you in September is such a powerful sense of self-awareness that says, not only do I now accept and acknowledge what's happening, but I need to make an adjustment within myself. Because if I just keep showing up with that same sort of, resistance or confusion or kind of hopelessness or despair at sort of how to deal with this, then it remains stuck in the perpetual cycle. Because remember, everyone's just playing a role for you. Everyone's just playing a role as you are for other people. So when you kind of really get a handle on that and you really rethink, what that truly means, then you can sort of take some of the personal affront or the triggers out of it, and you can kind of understand what's trying to be shown to you in a much bigger way. So if you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover off in the extended version of this reading, where I'm going to talk for another 30 minutes or so. We'll also look at a personal question and a relationship card for you, Pisces. In the meantime, I'm just going to clarify these cards and see the direction we will take that reading in, okay? So got the Devil coming through here and the Chariot. Lots of majors this month. My soul journeys, guided meditations for September, you can find on my website, and we are focusing on a brand new energy activation for the equinox. And in the shadow, we're looking at exploring the true intentions, your why around the things that you want and why you are driven towards what you are. And that's so important as we seek to make the unconscious conscious through that shadow work, and really kind of ensure that you are having a clear path to those manifestations, and there's not kind of hidden subconscious things that are holding you back because you don't even realize this is part of the story of why you are so driven to kind of achieve this. Cards are flipping everywhere here. Okay. Emperor and Strength, more majors. We have the Moon again and the Star. Okay. I mean, destiny's really in motion. When you get a reading where it's all majors, it's just like so many life lessons and karmic energy coming in. And it's not that we don't have free will or the influence to change and control, but it's more limited when we're working with all of these major sort of fated, destined things, because they are supposed to be part of our path and our blueprint at this moment in time. Yeah. So all the decks that I use, you'll also find listed in the comment and description box underneath, Pisces, okay? Okay, so let's have a look at some oracle cards. This is my own deck, Life Soul Vision. Again, if you're new to the channel and you haven't already seen, please check out this along with my other sacred title, Moon Musings. All the information and what to expect from these as you work with them on your soul journey is over on my website. Okay, throat energy. Golden ribbons of light. Spirit crane, dance with the divine. You're casting out constellations. This is the way, this is the work. Labyrinth of sweet surrender. And the spirit lion showing up. This is what I mean about you just like calling in the strength that you need to accept, to address, and to truly appreciate. Okay. So let's have a look at what the Crow Oracle wants to share. We've got the energy of release. Okay, beautiful. Especially for our equinox rituals. Okay, finally. Actually, two came out, so I'm just going to take them both. You have the hawk and the thistle, graceful persistence, and the dragonfly and the pansy, balance. How perfect for the month of September, Pisces. We'll explore these messages a little more along with your main read, your personal question, and your relationship card in the extended. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful month. I'll see you again next time.